Are you a private practice owner looking to get new patient leads on autopilot, freeing up your time to do the things in life you really want to do? I'm Christine Walker, and on this podcast, I share how I've grown my own practice and hundreds of others by generating patients on demand, getting business owners out of the treatment room, taking better care of themselves, and spending more time with their families. If you'd like to chat about how we can get you new patients on autopilot from your website, then visit freewebsitecall.com. But for now, let's dive into today's episode.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Patients on Demand. And you might notice this podcast sounds a little bit different. Let me tell you, if you can hear that, that's actually a chicken in the background. This is a little bit more of a casual podcast today. I'm feeling a bit like Snow White this morning. I went on a walk. Think it was beautiful outside. And just to spend some time to wrap my head around some big changes coming that I can't wait to share with you guys. I can't do that yet, but I will soon. So about some big changes coming. And I was out walking, and it was like one cool nature thing after another. At first, the birds were just singing the whole time. And then I hear this weird like quack. It was more like a squawk almost. And I realized my neighbors have a duck family in their pool, and then all of a sudden I run across a box turtle on the sidewalk, and then a hawk swoops down over me, and it just like kept going. Then an owl who like went hoo-hoo. Anyway, I think I'm just feeling really inspired by being outside today. And so forgive me, I'm just recording on my phone today and really finding a sense of peace and well-being and taking care of myself. It's a little bit of an honest, more open podcast today. I've had a lot going on this week, and I am sure there are so many of you who can actually relate to that. Like, I've had a lot going on. I've been on and off sick for the last 2 weeks. Nothing COVID related. Personal stuff, nothing contagious, stuff that ended me up in the hospital a couple of years ago. If you are curious about that, there is a video on YouTube I actually recorded, which is very unlike me in a raw moment to record a video literally live from my hospital bedroom. It's on YouTube though. So I just hadn't been feeling up to snuff, and yesterday all the meds I'd been on just wiped me clear. I couldn't do anything, and I took the day to literally just fully rest. And so I'm enjoying the out of doors today and thinking about all of you and some of the questions and stuff this week. And that's why we're here recording on my phone. So I just want to encourage you guys, just a little bit from that story is like, shake it up a little bit. Sometimes you need to shake it up to get inspired, to move your business forward. And that's really what's been going on this week, is a lot of big business decisions in light of a lot of personal things going on. Is where can this business go, and where can it help more PT business owners like you guys really bring in your amazing, perfect, true clients from online, and help get automation in your business, help get your practice growing and scaling faster than you could imagine. And as you know, we do it all through using websites, but I've been doing a lot of research and some new stuff and how we can accelerate that process for many of you. And I can't wait to share it, but that's as much as I can say right now. But what I did want to share was a little bit from a call I had earlier this week with a prospective client. And I say prospective, I should probably say future client. They will be a client. They know it. They've said it. And yeah, it's just not quite the right time for them because they for some certain circumstances. And if you've never been on a call with me, you'll find out I'm actually very honest. I will tell you flat out if I don't think it's time yet for you to implement our system into your business. But the conversation came about because we were looking at what systems she had implemented into her business when it came to her online marketing. And we discovered she was kind of done things out of order, really. And that's why she was in a financial position right now where she couldn't invest in her website. So we were trying to help her think through, how can we reverse this path? And it's so ironic because I was in the same position this week as well, evaluating some of the places we've been spending our money and realizing we could really use that money elsewhere to accelerate our growth. So, but what was her struggle? And I think it's where a lot of you guys are in the same place of, and that's where I think you'll take a good lesson out of this, is she was at a place where she's in the growth process. She wasn't quite fully fully seeing patients full-time each week. And for you, you may be already past that, which is great. You may be building up to that. But if you're past that, it's like that next therapist or the client you're trying to get into your business so that the next therapist can be full. So whether you're ahead of her, behind her, there's still a good lesson to be learned here. And so she was building up and she had certain systems. She's like, I just started running a Google ad. And, I bought this whole CRM package, so email automation software package and all this stuff. But, I'm not even really getting leads and I'm not even getting really to use those things because of it. And let's look at why. I mean, sometimes, don't get me wrong, there's some really good marketers in our space who are really good at selling you things, and they're good things. They're good things that will work, such as a CRM like Infusionsoft or ActiveCampaign, etc. But when you don't have the business yet that's going to use these tools, why are we spending money on them prematurely? And I get this. People want their systems and processes built out, but I made this mistake when I was starting up too. I spent a month building out systems and processes before realizing nobody was actually going to experience them, or not enough people were going to experience them and get me the return on my investment or the return on my time that I put into it, unless I fixed other problems in my business first. So in this case, for her, she needed to fix her website. She knew it. She's like, I don't have my messaging down. I need your help to structure my messaging to really reach my perfect patient. I know it's not right. I need you. But I'm stuck paying for these other services that aren't even doing anything because my Google ad stinks, because my website stinks. Like, I can't get anything off that. And I've built out these systems on the email service, but I can't use them with anybody because no leads are coming in to follow up with. And it's so easy to get ahead of ourselves. And like I said, I did this when I was in her phase of the business. I did this again just this week, which is why I think I'm so passionate about sharing this with you guys. I realized a couple of outside sources that I'd hired to help us with some things I didn't need to outsource at this point. And I was paying way too much money to outsource them when I could be using that money internally to grow the business even quicker. And I think this is where we've got to be careful. All right, you've got to understand that you do have to spend money to move your business forward. And trust me, that was one of the hardest things I ever had to overcome. But at the same time, you've got to do it in the right order. And sometimes we're going to do it in the wrong order, and we've got to back ourselves up. And we've got to reevaluate. And we've got to really find out where the weakest point is in your business right now and focus on that and not just get sold on the next sexy thing. And I say that lovingly. I don't throw that word around very often. I say that lovingly. The next really enticing, amazing offer you see on Facebook or Instagram or on a sales call, but really know what your business is lacking in order to then take the next right step so that you can get all those systems in place. Even established business owners who are now looking back and thinking, I want to systematize what we've got. Great, but it's got to be in the right order. And so if you didn't listen to last week's episode, I'm going to go ahead and put a plug in for last week's episode because I went over really specifically looking at the 6 main areas in your PT business and how you should evaluate that before you do your quarterly planning or even your monthly planning. And that you should really take to heart, not just keep working on, a lot of people keep working on the same part of their business over and over because that's their favorite part of the business to work on. I mean, I've got friends who are in the same position too. It's like they keep coming up with amazing new marketing ideas and doing marketing ideas and doing new marketing things, and they work a little bit and they keep the business where they're at. But then they wonder why their business isn't growing. And I'm like, well, all you work on is marketing ideas. Like, what happened to the other 5 pillars of your business that I talked about in last week's episode? Like, 2 of those are kind of weak. Why don't you work on that for the next quarter and shelve these marketing ideas for when you get that part fixed? So if you haven't listened to last week's episode, you should totally go do that because what we saw in this call with her this week was a total symptom of the deeper issue, which is that she wasn't prioritizing the weakest parts of her business. She wasn't prioritizing that, which happened to be, how do I get more people in at first so that then these systems I want to build and these processes I want to build out actually get used and they don't just sit there empty with no leads in them. You don't need a CRM sitting there not sending out the 10 emails you painstakingly spent the last month writing because it was hard as anything, to then realize they're not even getting sent because you have no one in the pipeline. Huge problem. Huge problem. We've got to fill our pipeline. We've got to get our marketing message right. Then we've got to get people to see it. Then we fill the pipeline. And then once you know there are people in it, that's the time you sit down and crunch out all the stuff and the automation on the back end. I know you're saying to yourself, but Christina, I want to be ready when that opens. Don't get dragged in to working too hard or too much on the final steps when you don't even have the first few steps nailed. That's my message for you this week, you guys. I'm sure some of you are going to sit back and be like, oh, is she talking directly to me? She must be in my brain. She must know exactly what I'm thinking. I'm telling you, I've been here so many times. Don't be embarrassed. Don't feel alone. We all do this. We all get a little out of order. I hope this can be a reminder to you this week. Look back at your business. What is it that you need in order? Now, if you look back this week, whoa, I don't know if y'all heard that, but one of my chickens is making loud noises behind me. I'm outside. I'm sorry, everyone. This is really funny. But if you find out by looking at your business that one of the problems you are having is your marketing message isn't right, and therefore your online presence isn't up to the way it should be, and your website isn't reflecting who you truly are and who you can be and who you are, amazing, that person in the community that can serve and help so many people suffering. Look, let's set up a time to chat. Just go to ptwebsitesecrets.com. See if you qualify to work for us. There's an awesome tab up there. You can see who we work with. Find out if you are somebody that we could help speed that process along and get you pulling in and getting that pipeline filled so that all those other awesome things that are out there, so that you can actually use them. Hey, maybe you've even bought them, and at this point they're sunk costs. They're sitting there. They're not being used. Let us help you get to the point where you can use them. So just go to ptwebsitesecrets.com /qualify or / I don't even know. The chickens are distracting me. Qualify, or just click on the button on the homepage. We will talk to you soon.
Thanks so much for listening to Patients on Demand. Do you have a question that you'd like me to answer raw and uncut on the podcast? All you need to do is head over to Apple Podcasts and do 3 simple things. Leave a rating and review telling me what you think of the podcast. In that review, ask anything you want about getting new patients or growing your practice. And if you want a shout out, leave your Instagram and name. Then listen in to hear your questions answered live, raw and uncut. Thanks for listening. I'll see you on the next episode of Patients on Demand.